Hello, we're back. So Josephine, you mentioned before that you wear this head tie because your mom wore it.
Yes.
So what's the big deal?
Well, I saw my mom pray, and I've seen so many miracles in my life as a child growing up. And we were always in the church. There's 5 of us, 2 brothers and 3 sisters. I'm the third, but I was the rebel in the family. I gave my mom the biggest problem ever. If somebody come and stop and to file a complaint, my mom don't have to ask any question. It's always me. And so when my mom would pray, she would always say, God, save my children, especially Denise. That's what she calls me. And I remember one day, I saw my mom on her knees and she was praying, but no words were coming out. It was just, her lips were moving. And I was trying to figure out what was happening. And she was crying. She was just putting up her hand and making all these hand gestures. And I'm like, what's going on? And so after she got off her knees, she called me and she says, I need you to go to the post office. And of course, with my slick mouth, I'm like, again? Mind you, the post office is not closed. But I've been going to the post office trying to see if there's a letter from my dad with money. But every time I go, there was no letter. And that day, when I went to the post office, reluctantly, the postmistress says, you have a letter. And I got the letter. It was a brown envelope. And of course, I knew that was my dad and there's money. And I run so fast home, screaming from the top of my lungs to my mom, telling her, we got a letter, we got money, we got money. And my mom just threw her hands in the air and say, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. And those are what inspire me to pray. And I really didn't have a prayer life because it's just in passing, in the car, and that's when I talk to God. And, I didn't have no set place, no set time. It was just sporadic. I'm driving in the car, oh Father, take me to my destination safe, take me back home safely. And then the challenge came when I was to pray for the first time. I had no idea what I was saying, but I know I was pouring out my heart to God. And my spiritual leader at the time, someone in this church, after I finished pouring out my heart to God, she just turned to me and over the phone, she says, you exasperate me.
Wow.
And so I was taken aback. I was not upset because I said to myself, wait a minute, I was not praying to you. I was praying to God. And so I went to bed. The next day, I went to work. I normally stop at a water park, not a water park, but like a lake in Doral, because that's where my office was. And I went down to the water and I said, God, teach me how to pray. Teach me how to pray. I don't know what to say, but I want to talk to you. Just teach me. And so it started. Little by little, I started listening to sermons. I started writing prayers. I started going through the Bibles, taking prayers from the Bible, and then customizing them to what I'm praying for. And so little by little, I start to pray, and I just start to cry out to God. And that's how it started.
And that's her thought as she sits in my yellow chair. See you next time.